I don't want to necessarily make myself frantic and busy. I want to make myself productive, but in a way that allows me the time and space to be thoughtful and mindful about how I'm doing that.
Yeah, because that leads into setting the tone for yourself.
Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing swell. What are we going to talk about?
Well, we're just coming off of a week together. We had a vacation together.
Yeah, I need another vacation.
You need a vacation from our vacation?
Yes.
Yeah. But it was a little different because it was a vacation staycation. Is that a way maybe to say it?
For you, it was.
For me, because we were in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Northeast Wisconsin. We spent a lot of time exploring new places that we haven't been. We ended up in Michigan accidentally.
Yeah, randomly. I mean, we're close enough where, yeah, it's bound to happen, but I didn't think we'd be in Michigan during that week.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Haven't been there in a while.
I haven't either. I was really excited about how you and I just really went with the flow.
Yeah.
How did it feel for you?
Felt like I was being pulled along the speedboat of Laura to do things a little bit. I was trying to lean into it. Like, I don't think I was being dragged under the water. I was definitely skimming on top.
Yeah.
So I definitely was leaning into it. But that's also, I'm realizing like, oh, that gave me a lot of energy, but it also in a way drained me. Like I had it was interesting finding the balance between not sitting around and going. So I think we struck a decent balance, but I'm ready for a little recalibration.
Yeah.
Not back to my default of, how do you say? Not sedentary, but I want to reset it somewhere in between the two. But I did have a good time. It's just, I'm realizing like, oh, I'm glad it's the weekend now and that we were doing that during the week.
Right.
Because it gives me a little more of a buffer. Kind of like we talk when we go on trips. I'm like, we need to pad either end of these so that I can ramp up and, do a soft landing when we come back kind of thing. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to complain, but I am noticing that when I was going through like my reflection and stuff in my journaling, I was like, okay, I got a lot of energy out of doing stuff, but it also took a lot of energy to do a lot of stuff.
Right.
So anyway.
But it was fun. Things that we stumbled upon, perhaps that I don't think we would have otherwise.
Yeah, it's always fun to go out and do something and get that movement going, and then everything's just in motion then, right? And so like we'll find like a fun place to stop and eat.
Yeah.
Or a little shop that you want to stop at and just look around. We don't even buy anything. It's kind of nice just to walk around and almost be inspired by the wares that they have in there. Like, oh, like I see this and I'm like, I like it and I don't necessarily want to buy it. It actually makes me want to go back and make something of my own.
Right. Which is great. I know when we found ourselves in Michigan, I made you stop at it's like a Scandinavian shop in an old house. It was on a corner. I'm like, whoa, Swedish flags.
They had a big dollar horse statue or whatever outside. Yeah, so we saw it.
We went in and I don't think we bought all that much, but I found whole seed cardamom. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need to buy the cinnamon roll mix here or cardamom rolls here, but I'm going to get those whole seed cardamom and I'm going to make some cinnamon rolls like we had when we had fika with our friend Rick.
Yeah.
I'm going to make that now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to kind of go and source materials and then bring it back and get in the kitchen or your workshop kind of thing. Or like the axe throwing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd been there for some other event or something, right? And seen that it was there.
I was like, ooh, there's axe throwing. We should do that.
Yeah, so that was a fun activity. Like we were there for like an hour.
Yeah, maybe even over that.
They had fun, they had like this computer overlay on the target. There was a Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, you were so good at that. I don't think I got one of them, did I?
I think you would have gotten it if it wasn't my turn.
Yes.
I always had the opportunity to solve before you.
But it was fun because they had the words and you had to throw the axe, and if you got the letter, then you got to pick that, and then you got a chance to solve.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And there's like duck hunt version and
zombies
and,
where you had to kill the zombies.
So we had some adventures, right?
We definitely did.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can become creatures of habit and go to the same places that we always go to. This time we did some of that, but we didn't do all of that. So one place I want to maybe just do a quick shout out because I really enjoyed the experience. Inland was the restaurant we found in Bailey's Harbor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you looked it up and
they had pizza, right?
They had pizza. It was like a wood fire sourdough.
Yeah.
Pizza. Oh my goodness, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was fun. They had lots of nice places to stop in that town, right?
In Bailey's Harbor.
We stopped in a few places.
Yeah, they have a couple brewing companies.
Yeah.
Was it Sway Brewing? Door County Brewing Company. Yep. And then they have a really pretty winery, Lakefire Winery, that's on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
So you can go out, and we sat and just stared at the lake for a while.
And there's music in the background. They had the outside music on and stuff. Yeah, it's nice to balance. It was our anniversary, so
it was.
We're kind of doing some things that we've, like some gems that we found before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're name dropping all these places, but it's good because it's good to support local businesses.
Right.
Cocoon Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
We discovered that on our anniversary.
Last year,
and so it's nice to go back and revisit things, a tradition type thing, but it's nice to make new ones too, right?
Right.
So the next time we're in the area, and say we're hungry, it's like, ooh, maybe we should stop and get that pizza again.
Yeah.
Especially if there's like nothing else really around besides breweries, they usually have snacks, but this place looked like a really good menu.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And they had a really great marinated olive appetizer that I got all to myself.
I did not like olives.
You don't like olive. But I wanted to put them on the pizza, and the compromise was to get some marinated ones for an appetizer for me.
The compromise was I get to watch you have an appetizer while I wait for our food.
Yeah. It was all good.
Yeah. I tried one of each. I tried one of the black ones or whatever and one of the green ones, and I just had that look on my face like a kid trying something they don't like.
Oh yeah,
and
you're like, no.
You're like, I didn't spit it out.
Yes, I'm glad you didn't. Is that the place that had the fun beer with a penguin? The Ninja Dust beer with a penguin that was a ninja on the can? I think so.
Inland, yeah.
Inland, yeah. Inland or inland? How would you say it?
I would say it the way I said it.
Inland.
I think you say it the way Wisconsin people would say it.
I might. It sounds a little off.
I don't know.
And we even went to a supper club. I love supper clubs.
Mm-hmm.
You're not anti-supper club, but you never know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
I think it's what you don't like.
Yeah, you never know quite what you're going to get. And that's, as we've discovered, that's always a little tricky for me. But I was dazzled. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Really good soup. If you can do a good soup that's flavorful, I know you're going to do the other things right. So I was like, okay, wow.
I was full after the salad bar.
I was full before our meal came. So we took the majority of our food home.
Right. And so I'm just going to, since we've been name dropped, again, it's a local place, but Hotel Seymour is the supper club that we went to. Their soup was fantastic. They had hot bacon to put on the salad. I mean, homemade rye croutons.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So that's what we've been up to. So with all that, what are we thinking about? Like, what's on our minds this week? What's going on?
Well, I think one thing, whenever we go to Cocoon, I'm going to go back to that.
Okay.
Whenever we go to Cocoon Brewing, you and I think, have a little bit of creative energy that comes.
Yeah.
And I always have a field notes, and we sit and have a beer and talk about our dreams, our goals, what we want to do, where we want to go, what we want to accomplish. And I don't know exactly why there, but that kind of has become our thing a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tradition, like I said, right?
Yeah.
And the vibe there is pretty chill, especially when it's a nice day out. It can be really busy there, and people will be outside, families with lots of little kids, and
oh yeah,
so there's lots of space for people to be, but you also have space to have a conversation. Like it's not,
right.
We've been there when it's been, more winter and not as many people go outside around like the fires or whatever.
Yeah.
If they even have them, I think they do.
It's cold. No way.
So it gets a little more loud inside, but yeah, we were hanging out inside and
doing that,
having chats and stuff.
And we were sitting at the end of the bar. It's vacation. So we were there at like, 3?
Something like
that. We
that.
basically rolled in when it opened.
Yeah.
In the middle of the week.
Probably because you're like, well, if it's busy, it'll be busy a little later. And therefore, Keith will have a better time if it's not as busy. So that's probably under the surface why we went early.
And I will also say, I don't dislike getting in an early supper / meal and then getting home by 7, getting my pajamas on and puzzling or binging shows with you on Netflix.
Yeah. When we're on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we align with that.
And so we always talk about what was the spark. And we were sitting there at Cocoon, both looking at, they have really pretty decor, I think. Mm-hmm. Monarch wing wallpaper and things like that. But I looked down and there's a bottle of wine that said,
"Do epic shit." There, I said the swear.
Okay, you said the swear.
Now I have to remember to mark it as explicit.
I think you will.
Or the whole world will come crashing down. No.
I don't think it will.
Which we've seen that wine before, right?
Yeah,
I think we've
I've gotten that wine before because I like the label because it's kind of like wine with an affirmation on it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like go seize the day, go do what you want to do. What?
That's
it's
really...
twofer.
I think, yeah. So anyway.
So we saw it and I thought, that's a nice spark because you and I both have goals. We're working on doing some epic things. Mm-hmm. I thought that might be something for us to dig into a little bit and talk about. And I'm not exactly sure where or how you want to go about it, but...
Like you said, it's a good little inspiration because like I was talking about, and I've been feeling the misalignment of my intentions, my goals, and where I've been putting my energy, right? I've been trying to go with the flow with things and allowing myself to find the flow to let that inspire me. But at the same time, I'm also maybe not giving enough energy to some of the other places where I need to create the flow and I need to do the actions, right?
Right.
And actually I guess that brings up another little spark I had that, I don't know if you remember, but when we were out watching the water, when we're outside and just watching Lake Michigan, right? That little seagull, there's a seagull just floating.
That's right.
And I'm like, look at that little guy just going with the flow.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? Actually, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's going with the flow and just going with the current. But I'm like, I wonder if his little flippers, his little bird feet, they could be just churning away, and he could be doing all kinds of things under the surface,
Right.
I mean, so then I'm like, okay, maybe that's me. Maybe I need more of this working behind the scenes or under the surface. Like, no, not everybody's going to see it, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing it. And the reminder of like, I can do epic things.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be skydiving for me. Like,
right. Oh gosh. Yeah. That would, right? I mean, for people that's your jam.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
kind of fun to see the pictures.
That type of adrenaline isn't quite for me. Mine is more like a sense of, I don't know, creative or making something, like, because I'm a musician type thing, and I guess to me, like seeing that and us talking about, like, oh, we can do epic things, or we're trying to do epic things and talking about it instead of simply thinking it or wishing it.
Right. I love that you brought up the seagull because I think that's a really good metaphor. I've always thought of the duck and paddling as fast as you can, but more as a metaphor for I might seem calm, but I have a lot going on at work, like I'm busy, but I'm going to be calm because I'm just going to keep going. The way I like you framing the seagull in relation to the things that you want to get after, not that you're trying to remain calm despite what's under the surface and what you're doing, but that you are thinking, okay, slow and steady, moving forward, going with the flow, but using your energy to shape the direction you're going in.
Yeah.
And it seems similar, but I think it's different.
Yeah, for me, it's more, I don't need to surrender myself to the flow. It's I can be a participant, whether I'm working with or against it, depending on what I'm choosing. The point is that I'm choosing to move.
Right.
Making that decision, lean into the agency, and I'll have a better time. Even if things don't go well, at least I know that I'm in motion, and therefore it'll be easier to pivot. I don't know. It just, the awareness of it, and it's just something that helps me bring my focus back to what I can control.
Right.
And being aware of what I can't. There's a lot more I can be doing, and not to be busy for busy's sake.
Right.
But using my time and energy to do the things I say I want to do, and moving from where I am to where I want to be.
Right.
It was nice to slow down last week in a way, but we also sped up. Like I said, I felt like we were go, 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 and you're like just living your dream. For you, it felt like, oh, we're just going and we're checking out these places and we're having fun. And at a certain point, I'm like, when are we going to take a break? Let me retreat and be recluse for a little bit so that I can come back, and I need more of that. The growing what I can do in a day or what I can do in an hour. We tend to stick to what we know. I don't want to necessarily make myself frantic and busy. I want to make myself productive, but in a way that allows me the time and space to be thoughtful and mindful about how I'm doing that.
Yeah, because that leans into setting the tone for yourself, maybe.
Yeah, like if I come at something that has to be done with, oh, I'm not sure how I'm going to get this done. There's a lot to do, and my mindset is more of a deficit mindset, I is what I would call that.
Right.
Instead of coming over the top and like, oh, I have the opportunity to work on this. I chose to start this project. I chose to do a podcast every week.
Yeah. Oh, I get you. Okay.
Therefore, it's not and now I got to spend Monday working on it. And if I don't get it done Monday, I have to do it Tuesday. It's like, oh, no. Setting aside time, all the morning routine stuff, right? And then It's like, okay, this is when you start editing. And you go until this time and you see where you get to. And it does put a little pressure on, but it's also, I've been doing it long enough where it's like, it's going to get done.
Right. You know the steps.
Yeah. So if I can define and confine the time and space in which I'm doing that work, it frees up more time because I'm not looking to do more for more sake.
Right.
I want to do more because I know it will be more fulfilling as long as I don't lose sight of the reason.
Right.
You can be really unhappy reaching a goal. And that's not my aim.
Yeah.
I want it to be a joyous journey, not an unpleasant slog.
Yeah.
I'm simply trying to embrace the processes that I choose. And I guess maybe that means I have to say yes to things that I'm not certain about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a lot of stuff that isn't super risky. It just feels that way to my brain. And so that's probably why I'm rambling. Because the more I talk out loud, the more I realize like, oh, I'm just banging up against my own beliefs of what I can or can't accomplish. Doesn't mean it's true. It's just what I know. So
yep.
All that from a little seagull.
All that from a little seagull.
Paddling in a Great Lake.
Exactly.
Don't know. That's a big old ramble.
I just let you go because you work through it when you process.
Yeah.
And I do too. One thing we talked about, not tons, but I think it's when we were watching The Little Seagull. I've been working on writing and working on a book. It's been probably a good 6 weeks or 8 weeks since I've written anything.
Since you've had the time to focus
or
set it aside, you mean? Or
I don't know if it's since I've had the time. I think I've chosen to do other things for reasons that I don't even know if I know why.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So it wasn't a priority in your mind?
It wasn't.
Okay.
I think part of it, so it's thinking about, because for me to pull off what it is I'm trying to do, it's not neuroscience or anything like that, right? But it's uncomfortable because it's different. It's something different than I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I asked you, I said, okay, if you were to give me advice, and so for me, maybe this writing of the book that I'm envisioning is doing something epic in my mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like I need to be a little brave, even admitting I feel like I can write a book or be an author.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also being brave in that I don't know if at the end of the day, what I have to say is going to add the value I hope to add, or it's going to be received the way I hope it's received. And so I know I said to you point blank, we were watching Little Seagull. You know, you had your old fashioned and I had a couple wine samples.
Okay.
And I said, if you were to give me advice on what I should be doing related to my book, knowing where I am right now, what would you say? And do you remember what you said?
I have no idea.
You don't remember?
No.
You said, write every single day.
Oh, yeah. That's what people say.
Well, but you said it
Yeah.
to me. And I've been thinking about that. And there is one of those pieces where I think, gosh, if I wrote every single day, what if it's not perfect? What if it's not getting to the end I wanted to get to? Which is strange because I had worked through so much of the it's not good enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. Bird by bird, right? Anne Lamott.
Mm-hmm.
Words on page. Shitty first draft. Just do it. And I pulled back knowingly or unknowingly on it for the only reason that in my head, if you were to ask me right now, I'm not even trying to kid myself about like, oh, well, you're just busy. Like my brain isn't even like, nope, that's not the reason. Because you would make time if you wanted to make the time. What my brain is telling me is I feel like I've run out of ideas and I don't know what the next step is for this project.
Mm.
So if I'm really clear about it, that's where the sitting down and just starting to free flow write something related to it. I think I got to the point where I'm like, well, now what?
Yeah.
I'm out, which is weird for me.
Well, so that's where when you say that to me, I'm like, I would say, well, and that's when you simply show up the next day, even if it's not good enough. Because it's so interesting that you're saying all these things to me that you're feeling about this creative process, about this writing, that I'll say to you about going and trying a new restaurant.
Right.
You know, so we have these trepidations about different things, but it's the same type of thing. Writing every day, whether it's good or not, will get you closer to the finish line of having something done. You know, and like you said, is what I have to say, you know, worth anything to other people or worth reading or listening to? That's not up to you.
Right.
You have to go into the process trying your best to do something. And you're definitely not going to want to publish anything that you're not proud of.
No.
Or that you don't think you did your best work on.
Right.
But once you do that, it's not up to you. It's like when you release a song, it's yours until it's public. And then it takes on different meanings to different people. And we hear a song with each other and we're like, oh, that's one of our songs. We didn't write it, but we will say it. We'll like look at each other and be like, oh, remember when we first heard this, or we were doing this when we heard that, or that was our first dance, you know?
Yeah.
So that ownership gets transferred, especially when you're creating something like a book.
Yeah.
So showing up and doing something, even if you're not sure what you're doing, that's the process.
Yeah.
Like that's
the work.
I say to myself, the process is the point. You know, that's like one of those things that I have to repeat to myself. It's so much easier to say to somebody like you sitting across from me than to myself in the mirror in the morning. right?
Right.
What is that thing I want to do? It's like, oh, I want to go for a walk,
Yeah.
right? I want to keep working on my health. And it's like, okay, you'll say to me, yeah, just get those, just get those shoes on and those workout clothes, and then let's take a few steps. I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. But then when it's all up to you, you're the only one that can take that first step. No one's going to carry us into the car seat and drive us to school anymore.
Right.
and drop us off if we're kicking and screaming and the teacher's saying, just go, it'll be okay. We got them.
Yeah.
That might be a good business for adults. Adult drop off.
Adult drop off.
Oh. I don't think epic has to be such high stakes. Like you going through the process of writing with the goal of this book being in your hands at the end and maybe in some other people's hands, that is epic, right? To get back to that.
Yeah.
Epic things come from maybe not the most dazzling efforts.
Right.
Part of it's going to be a slog.
Yeah.
Especially if you're showing up on a day where you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, because we've showed up and like we've recorded sometimes when we're like, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Are you sure? Is this the best time to do this, right?
Yeah.
You need to keep going. You need to keep doing it, right?
Right.
And we have stuff that we've started and stopped. And like, okay, let's reset.
Like, this is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might write 3 pages one day and it didn't get you where you wanted to go. And it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
At least you got that out of your system.
Yeah. I think that is good advice.
Support.
Because there's a lot of people that don't even know I'm working on that, or that is my project. So I think about my grandma Doris quite a bit when it comes to projects. She was in a writer's club and was writing.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a watercolor group and she painted. She was in bands and like she just went for it. There's a part of me, the one part that's like, yeah, you set your mind to it, you do it, you can do it. Showing up and practicing and doing it every day is probably really a helpful thing for me to think about. Being that seagull, where I'm showing up and I'm steering every day with my little flippers.
Yeah.
But not necessarily having to let everyone on the surface know, like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this. I'm flapping my wings right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be that much of a statement for the end product to be epic.
Well, in your grandma, a lot of those activities she was pursuing in community ed, right?
Yeah, community ed, or
like she'd show up and they would meet like once a week, or groups, or
groups of friends
and stuff.
Yeah.
And so maybe don't let that be lost on you that she was doing some of the work on her own at home.
Right.
But she was also going together with a group.
And in community with others.
And that keeps coming back up for us. And I don't know if it's you simply sharing a little more publicly when you are working on it, or, because like I have friends that, they'll just post on LinkedIn or whichever platform is theirs that they gravitate to. Like, oh, these are the pages I did this week, or these are, 300 words this week, but I did it. You know, get a little bit of puts them on the hook. But it's also like people like to see other people's progress.
The different projects they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
With each other, and because if I see you're working on something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I can work on my thing too, and maybe other people, or like you give somebody a little heart or thumbs up. It's always nice to support. Like it's a nice cyclical thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is a good observation. Being willing to share and not being scared. Maybe what I keep thinking of is sometimes on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, everything always seems cultivated. And I might be guilty of that too. Like I'm not trying to cultivate. That's one thing I will say that I've been like, hey, you need to be more present and not just consume other people's things, to actually post consistently. And I've only been doing it for 2.5 months.
And do you enjoy putting things out?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because I like to see what people are up to. And I think I'm hoping people enjoy seeing what we're up to, or what we're sharing if the podcast episode comes out, talking a little bit more about, from my lens, why it matters.
Right. So you're talking about other people. Do you enjoy making a post like when a new episode drops?
Yeah, it's creative. I like it.
Okay.
I like figuring out, oh, how am I going to say this? And what things do I want to emphasize? And, oh, what would a picture or a fun song be? It's creative for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like little Easter eggs, right? Of, oh, like this was our first dance song on this thing. And I know Keith will get it, but I don't know if anyone else will, but that's okay. To me, it's meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of creativity there in each post. So my point of talking about social media wasn't even necessarily to talk about the post saying that I've increased it or anything like that. The reason I wanted to talk about social media and sharing progress is that sometimes it's powerful to share the messy part out loud.
Yeah, simply saying it out loud, because, and I didn't even mean to say it has to be on social media, but wherever you can say it out loud, where if it's even just yourself, right? Like we've talked about that with goals.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even know what my goals are because I've only thought of them, and then I let them just kind of fade to the back again. But like writing them down or finding, like, could be even scary if I want to say something to you.
Right.
And I've known you for over 20 years, but
Yeah.
it's still that little bit of like shyness, or, this is an idea I have, but maybe it's not good enough, right? That creeps back in or something. So it doesn't even have to be social media. I'm just saying, wherever you can find community, and sometimes it's easier. Like for me, it's not so worrisome to just throw out a 2-sentence post on whichever platform. And it could be just, gotta work today. Podcast needs to get out. No fluff, no nothing. Just a brain dump of, yep, here I am. This is what I need to do. This is my goal today, is get the podcast done. Right.
Yeah.
So that could be a text to you, or it could be a Facebook or Instagram post for some reason.
Right. Well, and I think sometimes we might not always be ready to put all the mess out there.
Yeah.
But to continue to document for yourself too. It might not see the light of day. I know for our podcast, we have episodes that will never probably see the light of day.
Right.
I think one of our first audio recordings, or like video recordings, that should not see the light of day.
No.
But documenting some of those moments, I think it's still important, of us recording in a closet.
Yeah.
Of us recording in child two's room at the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up with ideas at Cocoon Brewing and working them out at a winery over here. It's the process. Like, what did you say about the process again?
It's the point.
The process is the point.
I mean,
yeah.
What just came to my head is it's not important that we did it. It's that we're doing it. It's nice to reflect on what you've done and have the documentation, especially for me. Like, I'll just keep moving, or like I'll emphasize what didn't work versus what did. So I try to document what I've accomplished in a day.
Yeah.
Even if it's not everything I thought, or what did I saw, I think I told you, I think it was Mel Robbins and somebody, they were talking about how to-do lists are basically wish lists.
Oh, yeah.
And how that's how we can kind of get ourselves tripped up, is because it feels good to write down all the things you want to do. But then you go to do it, and you like, we're really bad judges of how much time we actually have or what we can accomplish in a day, or and it brings up that same, like, we're really bad at estimating what we can do in a day. And we're also really bad at estimating what we can do in a year.
True.
It's just bad judges of scale, I think. And I always err on the side of, okay, let's dial it back. And you're always on the side of like, well, let's ramp it up.
Yeah.
So the point is, I'm doing something, and I like the idea of documenting, because then I can hold on to it, because when I'm in the process, I tend to simply be moving and going and executing. And it's better if I capture some of the process as I go. Anyway.
Do you like to-do lists?
I'm not sure. I make lists and I don't know if it's a stalling tactic or I'm worried I'm going to forget something.
Okay.
I find that it's more of like an itemized list. Like I finally made a checklist of the things I do to prep, edit, and record the podcast. And it's actually just a nice way of documenting the process and knowing all the things I have to do.
Right.
It's almost like doing a time study on myself. What actually am I doing? Am I letting myself like creep over and get distracted? Literally made an itemized checklist of like, hey, I do this and then I do this. So like 1 week I was simply documenting and writing down every single thing I was doing. And then I created like the little sheet. Then the next couple weeks, I think I have a sheet that has 3 or 4 X's next to everything I have to do. So it's nice to check things off, but I also want to be aware of if I'm simply making a list of things to do.
Yeah.
Then it's like letting your email dictate how your life goes. It's like that's everyone else's priority.
Yeah.
So a to-do list can be my wish list of, in a perfect world, this is what I get accomplished. Whereas I want to come at it a little more practically and with a good vision of what actually needs to get done, so.
I'm laughing over here because I love how you see to-do lists, and it seems like you operationalize them in a way that's helpful. I also have to-do lists, but they're often spread across multiple different Post-its.
Yes.
And then there's like one point, I call it my Post-it garden.
More like a wasteland.
Well, it could be. And then I combine them all onto one master to-do list by the end of the week. And at some points, I'm like, okay, I haven't checked enough of these off because they're really big rocks.
Yeah.
But I have done this. So sometimes I'll sneak a couple of things that I've already done onto my to-do list and check them off.
Check it off right away.
So I feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is the point of to-do lists, of affirm yourself for something you've done.
I'm not above putting journal on my calendar so that I can put a little X or check by it to say I did something. Because part of me is like, it's like getting stars almost. The more things I've checked off, the more I feel like I've done in a day, right?
Yeah.
But, you put brushed teeth or drank a glass of water, that's just kind of hiding and stalling and hitting yourself.
Right.
But I do like to lean into the encouragement I get from saying I'm going to do something and then having done it and being able to say, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So can I maybe wrap us up with one final question?
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to give folks one tip, if they're trying to do something to them that is epic and big, that they've dreamed about doing and they're excited about doing, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
Write it down. Think about how long you think it'll take to do it. Set a date, because you can always adjust it. And then surround yourself with people, information, a deck of affirmation cards, whatever type of stimulus that will help bolster that goal that you want to attain.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about my health the last week and over this last week and how I kind of want to buckle down, right? We jokingly say buckle down. I find I'm more successful at reaching my goals when I am feeding into my brain information or entertainment, podcasts and stuff that support me in those types of goals. So for me, it's like following people, going back to a YouTube channel or podcast that talks about health in ways that suit me, right? Like I know I'm not going to get to my goal in 30 days. It's not reasonable. So this is a long way of me saying like, actually think of a doable plan to get you to that, right? One, write it down, say it out loud to somebody if you can, but if nothing else, whenever like a new week starts for you, write your goal down and just keep it front of mind. I find more success the more I pay attention to the things I say I want to pay attention to. Writing it down helps me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Getting it out of my head. Hence me rambling this whole time. I'll be a better person for the next week because you let me think out loud.
Like that.
What about you?
I think I would say that showing up, doing a little bit every day is important. I like that piece of advice. I'm going to come back to that and then couple it with being kind to yourself, not telling yourself it's not good enough, being the critic or the judge, but really the supportive cheerleader of saying, okay, you showed up today, you wrote 50 words. It was only 50 words, but honestly, you showed up today, and that's great. Tomorrow you'll do it again. I think those two pieces, showing up every day, being kind to yourself, and not letting perfectionism and judgment weigh you down and slow your progress on what you're trying to do.
Most important things, these epic things that we're talking about,
Yeah.
they don't come instantly.
No,
It takes work,
it does.
right? And
Yeah.
so reminding myself, like, oh yeah, if I want this, I need to do the work, which means it's going to take time. And I just need a realistic awareness of that.
Yeah.
And embrace the process, right?
Right.
Because that's what's going to get me there.
You got it.
We good?
I think so.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you.